SuperNova Everyday Essentials. Practical bite-sized exercises delivered by Miranda McPherson, Professor, Assistive Technology Trainer, and SuperNova user. This series is focused on using SuperNova to become proficient at the everyday computing tasks you or your clients need to be successful at home, school, and work.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. We're going to take a look at how to choose the right SuperNova edition for you or your client, as well as the different profiles that are offered within each edition. Just like MJ said, I also am visually impaired. I have low vision, so SuperNova is a good go-to for me. I like to share all that SuperNova has to offer with others as well. So the three editions that we're going to talk about today are the SuperNova Magnifier, Magnifier in Speech, and Magnifier and Screen Reader. Within each one of those editions, within the Magnifier in Speech and Magnifier and Screen Reader, SuperNova also offers preset profiles that allow you to dial in the amount of speech feedback that you'd like to hear from SuperNova without having to go into the control panel and change a bunch of things to get it all dialed in. So we're going to look at each of those as well and see how they interact with certain programs. So I'm just going to tab for a moment, just make sure everyone can hear my sound here.
Size 5 selected. Okay. List box.
So to select your profile, you're going to go to the control panel. So if you don't have it brought up like I do now, it's just the left control key and the space bar brings it right up. And then you're going to press Alt to go up to the menu bar up top.
Menu bar. File shortcut F1 of 7.
Okay, and on the File tab, you're going to down arrow to open up that list, and then arrow down to Profile and press Enter.
File menu. Edit has submenu shortcut. Import has submenu short. Export has submenu short. Profile shortcut P5 of 8. Profiles. Profile. Magnifier and Screen Reader pull-down list box. Description. This profile supports both mouse and keyboard users, offering magnification with full screen reading in speech and/or braille via a braille display. This profile is fully featured and offers the greatest flexibility.
Okay, so what you heard there is the description of the profile I'm currently using, which is the Magnifier and Screen Reader. As it mentioned, it's the most diverse of all the editions. It allows access for both mouse and keyboard users, and it also gives braille capability as well. But we're going to use this drop-down box, and we're going to arrow up to the very first edition, which is the Magnifier.
Profile. Profile. Magnify. Profile. Magnifier pull-down list box. Description. Magnification only for mouse users wanting the fastest performance. It will magnify, follow the mouse pointer and track the cursor as you type. This profile disables all speech and braille.
Okay, and then depending on the edition that you have, it will also determine the profiles that you have access to. So for instance, my edition is Magnifier and Screen Reader, so I have access to the profiles that include Magnifier and Magnifier in Speech. So if I had an edition that was just the Magnifier in Speech, it would include the profiles for those, which there are 2 profiles for Magnifier in Speech and 1 profile for Magnifier. And we'll look at that also going forward. Okay, I'm going to tab to the OK button to change the profile to Magnifier.
OK button.
And as I'm pressing tab, you're hearing the screen reader say OK tab, or OK button rather. And that's because I'm currently in the screen reader and Magnifier profile. But once I hit OK, we will not hear that feedback. It'll just be magnification. Okay, so now we've got a magnified screen. We have access to all the screen enhancements. We can change the color, the focus, the red box that we have that follows our PC cursor as we tab. Everything is customizable to fit you or your client's visual needs. So I'm going to go ahead and tab, and you can hear that there should be no speech feedback. Okay, there's no speech feedback there. And I'm going to also now use my mouse. And as I move my mouse, The magnifier screen should be centered with my pointer in focus. So these are for the magnifier profile is usually for mouse users. It's designed for folks who have, pretty good usable vision that don't need any speech support, or maybe folks who just need a little break from the speech as well. We can look at that with the magnifier in speech and do the speech on demand. But with the magnifier, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the start menu by pressing the Windows key. And again, we are not hearing any feedback, and I'm going to type in the application word. Okay, again, no speech feedback. Okay, now I'm going to press Control Spacebar, left Control and Spacebar to navigate back to the SuperNova control panel. And I'm going to press Alt to go up to the menu bar. Focus is on the File tab. And I'm going to arrow down to Profiles and press Enter. Okay, now I'm going to down arrow to the second profile, which is, it's the second edition, Magnifier in Speech, and there are two profiles, Magnifier in Speech with mouse and Magnifier in Speech with the keyboard. So first we're going to do the mouse. So what you'll hear is as you're pressing tab through the different elements in applications, there is no speech feedback, but you should hear the text that's read underneath the mouse. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and tab to OK and press Enter. Okay, so first I'm going to press tab, and you should hear that there is no speech feedback. Now I'm going to use my mouse, and I'm going to pan around the screen, and you should hear some feedback of the text that's read under the mouse.
Magnification. Visual. Speech. Braille.
Okay, and as I also am panning with my mouse, you should notice that the magnification is still following the pointer, and it should follow the cursor, and we'll look at that in a moment as well. This is a great profile for folks, again, who have pretty good usable vision, but sometimes, maybe especially on a website where you have a lot of graphics, some text that are various sizes, some that are easy to read, and some that are a little bit more difficult to read. You can point on it with your mouse, and it will read it for you.
Speech.
You also have the ability to go in and change the mouse setting to give a little slight delay of when you move to another element.
Application.
That it'll pause just a moment before speaking. So if you just want to pan around and use your magnification to explore the screen without hearing that speech feedback, maybe you would delay it maybe 0.6 seconds. There are a few options of doing that. And you can also turn off the mouse echo as well. Okay, and I'm going to open up the start menu again. And the focus of the cursor is in view. Again, there is no speech feedback for this profile. And I'm going to press left Control Spacebar to go back to the control panel, Alt for the menu bar, down arrow to Profile and press Enter. So the second of two profiles for the Magnifier and Speech with the Magnifier and Speech edition is the Magnifier Speech with keyboard. I'm going to arrow down to that, and I'm going to tab to the OK button and press Enter.
Enhancements.
So this is for keyboard users. It allows you to navigate your desktop using the keyboard and also get verbal feedback as you do so. I'm going to tab around a little bit.
Line view. Enhancements. Mouse pointers. Highlighting. Color scheme. View.
Okay. And I'm also going to use my mouse.
Speech. Media. General.
So it speaks the focus of the PC cursor as you're pressing tab and navigating a list, as well as speaking the text that's underneath the mouse. Again, you can turn that feature off and not hear any speech underneath the mouse, or you can put a delay as well. And all of your magnification and screen enhancements are available for this profile as well. I'm going to press the Start menu.
Type here to search.
Okay, it gives us a little bit more feedback, lets us know to type there to search, and I'm going to start typing in application.
Word. Word. App. Press right to switch preview.
And
Word.
it's giving us a little bit more feedback, letting us know that the focus now in the list is on the Word program. And if I wanted to start it, I could press Enter. And I'm going to press Control and Spacebar.
View.
Alt to the menu bar.
File.
Down arrow on File tab to
New.
Profile
Edit.
and press
Import.
Enter.
Export. Profile. Magnifier and speech with keyboard.
And the third edition is Magnifier and Screen Reader. And within that profile, you have three options. You have Magnifier and Screen Reader, which is the best of both worlds, I'd say, for keyboard and mouse users as well. It's for folks who need a little bit more speech support, but also would like to use the vision that they have with magnification and screen enhancements. There's also the screen reader profile with no visual effects, so no magnification, no screen enhancements, just the verbalization of the screen. And the last profile for that edition is the screen reader with visual effects. And that's a great choice if you are working with a colleague, maybe you are working in a school setting and you have a student with who's using screen reader and you're helping them and you need to follow along where the focus is. You'll have the visual enhancements of the rectangle to highlight the focus in that area. There's a few other visual effects that will help with other sighted users that maybe are working with the client who is using the adaptive software. So let's go down to
Magnifier and screen
Magnifier
reader.
and Screen Reader. And again, you're hearing some verbal feedback. We're still in the magnifier and speech with keyboard until I go to OK and press Enter, which I'll do now.
SuperNova control panel. Visual page. View pull down button.
We hear quite a bit more speech here because it's not just reading the focus, but it's giving you the screen reading capability, which in that case, it's really acting as our eyes. So for someone visual, they could see that the control panel has focus. We're on the visual page and we are at the magnifier view and that we're at a view pull down menu that we could click on with our mouse. That's where that arrow is. But for those of us who have a harder time seeing that, it's going to verbalize what they would see visually. So you know where you are at, what element you're on, and how to interact with that. When it says pull down menu, you know you can press spacebar to interact with that. So I'm going to tab a little bit more. We'll hear some more verbal feedback here.
Enhancements group. Color scheme checkbox.
Okay, it lets you know that we're now in the color group and that we're on the color scheme checkbox and that it's checked. Okay, so it gives us all of that verbal feedback that somebody might see visually. Okay, I'm going to uncheck that.
Unchecked.
Okay, I'm going to check it again.
Checked.
And this time we are going to navigate back to the Start menu.
Search. Type here to search edit.
Okay, so it tells you search where you are, type here to search, and the last thing that we hear is edit. That means that we are ready to type in this edit box, which in later lessons, we'll talk about the Dolphin cursor. It's a virtual cursor that comes along with the screen reader and with the speech with keyboard, which allows you to read text and elements on web pages that you might not otherwise be able to read with other magnification software. Okay, so I'm going to type word.
Gap. W. R. Word. App. Press right to switch preview. R.
Okay,
D.
gives us a little bit more feedback.
SuperNova control panel.
Let's explore Google Chrome quickly for the Dolphin website just to get a feel for that virtual cursor and how that works with the screen reader and magnification together.
Left Windows key. Search. Type here to Google Chrome. App. Press right to switch preview. G. New tab Google Chrome. Toolbar. Edit. Address and search bar. A. Edit. Alt. Edit. Address and search bar.
Yourdolphin.com.
Y. Edit. Dolphin uses cookies to provide you with a personalized user. Find out more link. Accept all button.
Okay.
Page loaded.
Accept those cookies there. Okay. And I'm just going to press the down arrow to explore this web page.
Heading to Dolphin. Normal. About Dolphin button. Laptop displaying SuperNova Magnifier.
Okay, so we get the text description of graphics. We also know what element that we're on. I'm going to arrow back up to the one that said the button.
About Dolphin button.
So about Dolphin button. So we know that if we press enter, we can interact with that button appropriately.
Dismiss. Button. Laptop display. Heading to SuperNova Landmark main.
And you hear the landmark main. Web pages are grouped together in like sections called landmarks. And so you might have a navigation landmark where you have the home, product, support links. And then you have the main part of the web page, which is your main landmark. And so those are verbal indicators to let you know, again, where you are in the web page and what to expect while you're there.
Normal. Screen magnifier and screen.
Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and close this application.
Dolphin cursor off, no selection menu.
With Alt spacebar.
Close shortcut C11 of 11.
Okay. And you hear in that list, it says 11 of 11. So with your other application, your other edition profiles, such as Magnifier and Speech with the mouse and the keyboard, you'll hear the word close within the list, but you won't hear that it's the 11th choice of 11. Again, with the screen reader, it gives you more verbalization as what you would see visually. So you know how many are in that list and where you are in that list.
SuperNova control panel.
Okay, and then we're going to quickly
page.
explore the
Enhancements
two
group.
profiles.
Color scheme check box.
Within the screen reader and magnification.
Menu bar. File menu. Import has export. Profile shortcut P5 of 8. Profiles. Profile. Screen reader pull down list box.
Okay.
Description. Full speech and or braille screen reading designed for keyboard users with no useful sight. This profile disables all magnification and visual effects and enables braille output via a braille display.
Okay, just as it mentions, it disables all of the visual enhancements, leaving the screen reader and braille output capability. So I'm going to go ahead and tab to OK.
OK button.
And you should see all the visual effects of the magnification disappear.
SuperNova control panel. Tab control. Visual page.
Okay, so we get the same amount of speech as you do with the screen reader and magnifier, just without the magnification and screen enhancements.
Tab. Tab.
So just one moment, it's just saying tab, so let me just...
Tab. Menu bar. File shortcut F1 of 7. Visual shortcut V2 of 7. Speech shortcut S3 of 7.
Okay, so that all sounds good.
Tab control. Visual page. Tab. Tab. Tab.
So for some reason, it's not reading the focus.
SuperNova control panel. Tab control. Visual page.
Okay, let me try.
Search. W. Word. App. Press right to switch preview.
So that's working
W.
fine.
SuperNova control panel.
Open up Word.
Search. Gap. O. Word. Good morning. Home group.
The reason
New
I'm
group.
opening Word here
New.
is I'm just
Search
testing out to
blank
see
line.
if the screen reader profile works appropriately with the upper ribbon. If there just might be some glitch on the control panel, which generally by restarting SuperNova, it will correct that. So I'm just going to take a quick peek here.
Toolbar. Tab control. Home page. Toolbar. Tab control. Insert page. Insert page. Pages group. Cover page pull down button. Blank page button.
Okay, so that's working appropriately. I'm going to go ahead and close Word.
Menu. Close Alt plus F4 shortcut C6 of 6. SuperNova control panel. Tab control. Visual page. Tab.
Okay, so it seems as though SuperNova may need a restart on that. I'm not sure if we quite have time for that, but let me take a peek at the last profile and see if that acts any differently. Last profile will be the screen reader with visual effects. So you'll see the red rectangle following the PC cursor focus. So again, I'm going to go ahead and go up to that
Menu bar.
menu bar.
File shortcut F. File menu. Edit has sub. Import has sub menu. Export has sub menu. Profile shortcut P5 of 8. Profiles. Profile. Screen reader with visual effects pull down list box. OK button. SuperNova control panel. Visual page. Enhancements group. Highlight. Enhancements pull down button. More group. Help button.
And MJ, I'm going to need your eyes on that one because this is zoomed out. It's too small for me to see. Is there the visual enhancement?
No, the control panel is like frozen, kind of grayed out. You might need to.
Oh, okay. Yep. Thank you for pointing that out, MJ. I forgot to mention. So whatever profile you're working with, the controls that are not available to you will be grayed out. So I think that's maybe why it was saying tab before.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and change it to the
Speech page.
speech page.
Voice languages
go.
group.
There we are.
Volume. Speed. Voice languages pull down button. Verbosity group.
Okay, so it
Character
is
echo
working
button.
appropriately. I just forgot that we were on the visual page and it was those functions were unavailable at both the screen reader and the screen reader with visualization.
Text style button.
Alrighty, so that concludes how to differentiate between the different editions and the profiles within each.
Whatever your level of sight, today or in the future, you can rely on SuperNova to help you succeed. Download an unrestricted 30-day trial of any SuperNova edition today.